Hi, you guys. We at Prairie Path Books are so lucky to have Kristen, who is the mother of our beloved Bridget, who just went to college. And Kristen dropped her off. So, our beloved staff member, Bridget, has a mom who is a kindergarten teacher and an elementary school librarian. And we're so lucky to have her here. Come fall, she's going to work every Saturday. So, you can count on her to match the perfect book with your perfect child or grandchild. But today I wanted to talk about back to school and reading. She's a parent of 4 and also as a teacher, because this is a time when, the school bus means different things to different people. And some of my kids were like, here comes the bus, Mom, bye. And then, sometimes kids are it's hard for them to change habits and patterns and, all that kind of thing. So I asked Kristen to talk about that today. And the second thing is, once life gets busier, how do you make reading fun even during the school year? So those two things is Kristen's goal today. Ready, go.
Okay, so hopefully I can accomplish this one.
Okay.
Basically, I think what the most important thing is that reading is fun. Never make it a chore. Just in the recent past, I've heard families say, okay, school is starting on the 23rd. We have to start reading now so that you're ready. Well, then that takes the fun out of everything.
Does a teacher expect them to be...
We would love for them to be versed in reading all summer long,
Sure.
obviously, because reading just kind of opens your mind and your experiences to everything.
Right.
But do I expect it? No. I mean, I want them to have fun. Absolutely. Top priority is fun, because you need a break and you need to relax and you need to have a great summer. But we do get back into a schedule. And so we have time constraints and we have, places to go and things to do and standards to address. So obviously, anything that is helpful at home is perfect. But I wouldn't say, oh gosh, school is starting, we need to do this. I would say, hey, let's go to the bookstore and get some books so that, we kind of see what we're going to be reading, or visit the library, or talk to other friends about what they're reading. Or when we just had that summer reading program here at Prairie Path Books, which was so successful, and the kids just loved coming in and finding new books to read. So I think the most important thing is to just make it fun. And don't say it's like we have to do this, because it's because we love reading.
So back to school reading that they do, not under any pressure. What do you recommend? I don't know. Should we go over there to our little section and look? I have a favorite book, and I did not raise my kids with Llama Llama. I didn't know about those books.
Love it. My children loved it.
Oh my gosh. So Llama Llama, Mrs. Mama is my favorite of the season for kids who are going to preschool and have a little concern that first day about mom leaving. Yeah. And it's such a warm, caring tale. I never thought that llamas would be the perfect conduit, but I think the writer and the illustrator just nailed it.
And
what do you think?
I think is the most important thing.
Yeah.
The books that are curated here by Sandy are outstanding. Wow. Honestly, I'm telling you, just amazing, because you need that author illustrator to just drag you in.
Right.
The illustrations will, make the children's eyes pop. The literature, the text, it's so funny when I talk to the kids about text, because they think it's something on a phone.
Yes.
And I go, no, this is the words that are on a page.
Yes.
And so that is so enriching and so lively, and Llama Llama is just pure fun. She did a great job.
She's just great, and there's a couple of them, and we were going to walk around and show you, but I love having you centered on Kristen's wisdom here. But I think that a lot of times, even if you think my child doesn't miss mom, this is my second and third kids didn't care. About me. I mean, maybe they did.
Well,
but the point is that you don't necessarily have to match the perfect book and content with your perfect situation, because they can have empathy maybe for the ones next to them who are, off in the corner feeling sad. And so A lot of times I try and explain that it's just great all around to be aware of all the feels that all the kids are having, whether you're having them or not. Building that empathy is what reading's all about,
Right.
too.
And then you have another book by Kevin Henkes, which I
Yes.
love, Wemberly Worried.
Wemberly Worried.
Which Wemberly Worried is just an all-time favorite. I read it. But the best thing, too, is even if you find some of those books like Llama Llama or Wemberly Worried or The Pigeon, there's more by the author.
Yes.
And so once you hook that
That's
child into loving those words, the illustrations, the horizons are huge for your reading. I mean, you can just start to explore so many more. I mean, I think so. I teach kindergarten, so we talk about the alphabet. So I love Chicka Chicka Boom Boom.
Yes.
Because it talks, and it's just a cute little thing. We sing and dance and we have fun with it. But Bill Martin Jr. wrote it. Well, guess what? Bill Martin Jr. also wrote Brown Bear, which is another classic favorite. And Eric Carle was the illustrator. So then it just kind of builds upon so many more experiences that you and your child can share together once they get hooked into a book.
And another thing that we thought we were going to go short, but there's so much to talk about, and I love talking to Kristen because she is just the knowledge bubbles out of her. But the other thing about seasonal books as a bookseller and a mom, I have found is that people think a seasonal book is over. And one of the great things I loved I always had a seasonal box of books out, and my kids would read the back to school titled books because sometimes after the experience, they could sort of say, I did go through that. And especially my Tom wouldn't tell me at the time, but I would say, now, did you ever feel that, last month or whatever? And so I think as a bookseller, sometimes people think, oh, I'm not going to buy that book. It's only 2 weeks. It's not at all.
No, because truly, the school year ebbs and flows. I mean, and you don't know when a child's anxiety is going to hit. We're starting in another school year. We're in person. Some children have been home for so long. We have to wear masks again. We have other restrictions. So there are so many things. But the back to school feels about keeping everything and talking about your emotion and talking about anxiety and missing mom and that's throughout the whole year. Truly.
Yeah. And I think, for me as a parent, I had one who, did not appreciate the how was school question when he came home and didn't think it was his job.
Yeah.
I think my girls were nicer and they would try and
girls are
answer me.
Sorry to say.
But then, my son wouldn't necessarily open up unless we were doing something else. Like face-to-face question answer didn't work for him. But books would often get him chatting. Not very often.
However,
Kristen.
But it's okay because I have 2 of them myself. And truly, I have one that transitions terrible. So every transition, whether it's going to school at the very beginning of the school year, after breaks like Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's a rough transition. Loves to be home, loves to be with us, just loves that safety and comfort. So those are the books that you can kind of keep pulling out because they will realize that it's something that is going to be different. And if they love it and it's comfortable at the house, that transition is going to be much more.
Yeah. And maybe even, Okay, so we are going long because we care about this topic, but what do you want to say about building school time reading habits for all kinds, like the reluctant reader and the one who comes straight home and reads a book? I had one of those, straight home and reads a book.
And I always tell parents, we worked really hard for 6 hours, they might want to just chill out. I totally get it. They might just want to relax and kind of decompress. Nighttime is obviously the easiest thing. If you have young children and there's no crazy activities, anytime during the evening, after dinner or whatever, or before dinner while you're cooking, or, anything where you don't have to totally have that engrossed focus where you can listen to the child read. Or you can, be able to snuggle with them after dinner, having dessert, something like that. You just have to make a routine, and you have to make it. I think about, and I still to this day think about when my mom, I was the youngest, my brother was older, and I shouldn't say I was the youngest. I do have a little brother, but he was kind of further along down the line. But once my older brother got out of, reading, she really tried to hook us.
Yeah.
And I still, to this day, remember sitting, the 3 of us, listening to the Phantom Tollbooth.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be able to explore that adventure with my family
Right.
was amazing.
And
So
I think that for me, I, entertain a lot. And so if I know for sure now that if I'm relaxed, all my guests are going to have fun, even though things go wrong. I mean, a lot. There's many stories about my home being the funniest party they ever went to. And I think that's the same with reading. Like if you are the host of this reading, just make it warm and fun. And that whole feeling is maybe as important as the content. And we have to go. But we're going to do this again because we are ridiculous. We love it so much.
But you have to just, come and enjoy. There's the back to school section. Sandy's got this
forgot.
wonderful,
I'm supposed to sell books.
Sweet and silly section that, that just make you laugh and make you just love. So the books here are wonderful, and hopefully that you can find that time to carve into just to make it enjoyable.
And Kristen will be here. We're not sure which weekdays, but every Saturday. So I thank you for selling books. See how I didn't go to business school? And it really comes up every once in a while. Okay, bye.
Bye.